Nathan, welcome to the Elevator.
Thank you.
What are your first thoughts of the Elevator?
Well, I have no idea. I've actually done one shoot in the elevator before.
Okay.
One time. And it was a little scary because it got stuck. And I was like, had to keep playing, and then we actually got up to the first floor. So looks like we're going to be right on the level here.
We can get you out of the elevator.
Yeah.
But a platform like this where you have a photo shoot, you've got a video shoot, you sit down, we give about a $20,000 package to artists, up and coming artists, for free because we love music. How important is getting support these days in an industry that is so competitive?
Very. Especially just the fact that, I'm not really like a social media, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know my way around it. So it's like, for somebody like me that likes to play music, loves to play music, and knows that content is the way to get to people, it's like some stuff like this, especially when it's professionally shot, it helps out so much.
I love the fact that you brought your mom.
Yeah.
There's something about moms and just that love of her and somebody that close. How important it is for you to have family and support like that?
Very. Both my parents. I don't think I would still be doing this if I didn't have the support of my mom and dad to do this. So it's like they encourage me to keep going a lot of times. So yeah, I don't know many parents that would encourage their kids to keep being a musician, but yeah.
We got some good insight from your mom.
Okay.
You're all self-taught.
I don't know.
Or at least you had, because a guitar teacher.
Yeah.
When you first picked up the guitar, or you had your first guitar lesson from a guitar teacher, did you ask that guitar teacher on that first day, hey, can you teach me a song? What would be the song you wanted to learn your first day taking your guitar?
What was the first song I learned how to play? I think it was, I want to say it was probably Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan. I think it was that. And it was like quickly after that, it was California by Lenny Kravitz.
Okay.
So he was basically showing me how to play songs, but teaching me like theory and technique through learning how to play those songs. So instead of it being like, oh, this part sounds cool, it's like, okay, this is why this sounds cool. This is why this sounds good, and why these chords work together, and why these patterns and solo patterns kind of fit together. So that was a way that I learned how to do this.
Did your guitar teacher then teach you how to read music?
No, I didn't learn how to read music until I got to college.
Okay.
I had no idea how to read music. I just, I would either listen to the record over and over again. Like I did the new version of like playing the record and stopping it. So I would watch YouTube videos, and I would pause it, and then I would like try to figure out what lick that was, and then I'd go back, pause it again, try to figure out the lick, and then I'd learn songs like incrementally like that.
We've got a friend over in Chicago. I spent so much time, James Van Osdell. Highly recommended. He said, you got to get a Nathan over. And when I started to listen to your music, what really stood out is you've got a beautiful, your love of music. You are a great writer.
Thank you.
And how often do you write?
I should probably write more often than I do, to be honest. But it's a lot of times it's I'll be like driving in the car, and I'll hear like a melody, and I'll just like hum it into my phone. So it's like I'm kind of always writing and not always writing at the same time. I don't like have times where I just sit down and it's like, okay, I'm gonna write a song today. It's more I'll be thinking of like a concept, or I'll have like a melody, or I'll have like a lyric idea, and I'll try to kind of put it together.
You're going to do Pride today. Where did that come from? That's a beautiful song, lyrically and musically.
Thank you. I needed an opener for the album, and it's the first song on the album. And so the album is called Saint Second Chances. And I kind of wanted to do this thing where you're kind of seeing like the first mistake, and then the the resolve, right? So pride is usually where we make the mistake. You don't tell somebody that you need help, or you do something brash on your own because of the fact that you're upset about something because something hurt your pride, right? Somebody said something to you, somebody did something to you, which in their mind might not have been as big as you thought it was, but to you it just like it rotted you to your core, and then you did something really stupid to get back at somebody. So I wrote that song based on me having issues and not being able to tell people about it, and not being able to go to someone and say like, hey, I'm in a really bad spot, I need help, I need somebody to talk to. I would just kind of like shy away from that. There's a really good, anecdotal evidence. When I was about 10 years old, and I was playing basketball with my dad and his cousins, and I had cut my hand on a piece of glass in the park, and I was like bleeding profusely. And instead of saying like, hey, I need help, like my hand is bleeding, I was like trying to hide it. And then finally somebody had saw like, hey, what's wrong with you? And like, why are you holding your hand like that? And I opened it up and it was just like full of blood. And so I kind of went back to that moment when writing that song, and like that was my first kind of like brush with like pridefulness and not being able to tell somebody that I needed help.
How do people find out more about you and follow your career? Music, on tour, what's the easiest way to stay really close to you, Nathan?
Instagram, the website, both of those.
Well, again, when James said you got to get a Nathan over here, and I'm glad we did. I have such heritage in Chicago. Chicago's still a great city for music, and it always will be. What part of Chicago did you grow up in?
A couple different ones.
Yeah.
So I was born in Evanston.
Okay.
And then we lived in Hyde Park for a while. And then we moved. It was a lot of it was the South Side, and then we eventually, my parents and I moved out to the suburbs of Chicago. So, but a lot of South Side living. And then when I moved out of the house, I moved to the North Side, lived on the West Side. Now I still live on the West Side, kind of like the Oak Park area. So yeah, that's.
Where's the best place to get Italian beef?
Oh man, that's a question for you. That's a question for my mom. I don't know. There used to be this place called Mr. G's.
Okay.
And I don't think it's there anymore, but it was like right in the heart of downtown. And now it's like probably been swallowed up by some conglomerate with a bunch of big buildings and but it was this little greasy spoon hole in the wall. And I think they had the best gyros, they had the best burgers, and it was inexpensive and it was great. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Elevator. God bless you.
Thank you so much.